Greetings and peace to you all. My name is Umi. Thank you guys for joining me for this video and happy 2021. We are in a new year, but we are not out of the energies yet. 2020 was quite a tumultuous year and for a lot of people. That's what we're gonna look at today is 2021 and beyond, no going back. The energies of 2020 were very chaotic and heavy and intense for a lot of people. Not everyone. Some people had a fantastic year. They had opportunities back to back and financial security and so forth, and that's awesome. But on a collective level and just what we saw revealed through the media or through, other things happening within your community or people you've spoken to, it was quite apparent that the 2020 wasn't like the year before. It wasn't like any year that we've experienced in recent history. So definitely there were radical changes, some more difficult to digest than others. So when we're looking at 2020, it's important to understand that 2020 represented a 4-year. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 is typically a number to do with family and working hard and stability, security, foundations. So when we're talking about foundations and these things, that did not seem to be the theme at all in 2020. There was no signs of security and stability in these things. But what we did see was a dismantling of the old foundation. So let's say you want to get a house built and you arrive at the place and location you want to get your home built, and you notice that there is a slab already on the land. And you're like, I need my house to go here, but that foundation that's there will not meet the dimensions and the standard that I need for the house I'm trying to build. The foundation just won't work. So what happens? You need to have that foundation dug up and removed so you can lay a new, solid, strong foundation for the type of structure you're building. Essentially, 2020, even though it was about stability, security, and foundations, what it was reflecting to us a lack of these things. It was reflecting to us the need to change out that old foundation as we prepare to embark on the new. Remember, we're moving from an old energy of earth energy. We're moving into a whole new era, a whole new age. So that old foundation doesn't work with where we're going. So we saw the dismantling of the old foundation. Your security and your stability and even our ability to see family and engage with family and have the sense of normalcy, all of that was interrupted. So the 4 energy was there. We were just experiencing the lower aspect of that 4, the lesser manifestation of that 4 energy. So we are going to focus on the changes needed to start that new foundation in 2021. Are we laying the foundation? No. We're just implementing the changes necessary. The dismantling is going to continue of the old. The tearing down of the infrastructures that were already volatile and weak. We're going to witness all of this. So 2021 may seem a bit chaotic. We may witness some mild dystopia. We may witness some upheaval and chaos because this is a necessary part of change and shift from the old to the new. We already know that. We've heard it. I'm sure many of you have watched countless videos from astrologers and mediums and whoever talking about this very thing, changes and shifts and what needs to happen. So when we're thinking about in our personal lives how we're going to move and adjust and implement these changes, a part of it is going to require our surrender. A part of it is going to require our flexibility. So for me personally, in 2020, I didn't have a lot of difficulty when it came to adjustments with school and work with my children. I was already homeschooling and I work from home. So I didn't have a big change there. But we had 5 family members pass in 2020, which was obviously difficult to get that news and to keep hearing. It's like, oh, somebody else has passed, like what's going on? So that may not have been the case with some of you, but for me, losing an aunt, losing a nephew, losing family, it was devastating. It was sad news. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I was thinking, I'm okay. I'm adjusting okay. Things aren't bad, but I was getting this news about losing loved ones. And so that was something that I was realizing, moving forward, what's required of me in order to show up and support and be in service to other people, show up for my family, show up for myself. So taking care of myself so I wasn't burnt out, taking time away from social media so I can prioritize and recognize my family's needs and my community needs, and then extend that. Because I know many of you live way across the world, you live in other parts of the States. So, you know, our engagement and interaction on YouTube is certainly a blessing and something I don't take for granted. But our personal relationships are just as important. The people we connect with in the physical, or the people that we know, these communities and networks we're forming online is indicative of Aquarian energy. Age of Aquarius is going to bring in innovation and this sort of rebelliousness, going against the way things have always been done. So, you know, for many people, traditionally, when we gather during the holiday times, we gather in person. And now we're starting to do these Zooms and Skyping and FaceTiming our family members and group chats because we're not able to meet right now. And so therefore, we're seeing how the Aquarian energy of the internet and convenience and these different changes, how we're having to adapt. So being flexible moving forward, acknowledging that, yes, we are moving from an earth energy of fixed, stiff, permanent energy into Aquarian energy that is air. It's a little more fluid. It's a little more eccentric. It's going to be different. It's going to be revolutionary. It's about new foundations. So in the lesser manifestation of this going into 2020, there's going to be a clash of people who love that fixed traditional Capricorn energy of authoritativeness and status quo and keep things the same and, you know, don't ruffle any feathers. Let's just maintain what we've got. Those individuals are going to be at odds with people who are saying, what the hell, you know, look at our justice system, look at our medical system, look at this, we need to change that. No, I don't want things to stay the same. I'm not obeying any authority. I'm not doing this and this. So that these two groups, those who want to hold on to the old and those who are absolutely ready to pave the way for the new, are going to be at odds. Whether or not you choose to get in on this battle is totally up to you. You may determine within yourself, it's best that I take a space of neutrality because this is a transient time. It's not always going to be this way. We're just shifting from one energy to the next. So remaining neutral in these instances can be very beneficial. There is a time to fight and there is a time for peace. There's a time to speak and a time to keep quiet. So we do have these times where we need to act for one or the other. But in this particular transition, it's not necessary that we find ourselves at constant battles and odds about what society and everyone is doing in the world and the collective and the news and these factions and these groups and these new. We don't have to engage. We can simply be observers. We can continue to do the work on ourselves to see how we're personally enduring this change, what's changing within me, what's changing within my home, my environment, my community. So we start here. We start at the home base and then we extend out. So you have to first assess and see where the hell you are before you just jump in and, you know, you want to be a part of all of the happenings and all of the drama. But you need to know who you are and what role you're playing at this time. So a lot to take in, a lot to digest. I don't think we should enter this year with fear and, you know, complexity. I do think we need to be patient as things unfold, as the truth gets revealed. We did see a lot of that in 2020, things coming to the surface. There was a lot of misinformation. There's still going to be misinformation and non-credible sources and distractions, but this is what discernment is about. I know for me personally, I've had to verbally express what my plans and intentions are with those around me so that I'm not like being at odds with them. Because trust me, the same energy that we see out in the world between, you know, groups of people and these different factions and networks, like we're seeing that division. That's also going to be happening within people's households. Scripture talks about, you know, the enemies of our enemies being members of our own house during these times. Why? Because many people are going to be divided about their opinions and their political views and, you know, what they feel is right for their family. And so that can create division within the home. And it's important that we don't fuel the divisiveness within our home environment. The home should be peaceful. It should be a place of rest and refuge. But if you're finding you're at odds or in conflict with people that you live with, then there needs to be some adjustments made on your part in order to compassionately deal with others, if you will, who are maybe not as consciously aware as you, who are maybe not making the effort to see what's really happening. So the veil is still over their eyes. They're wanting to argue and debate and prove a point. But we're past that. There's no need for us to get into these arguments and debates anymore. It's a privilege and a blessing to be on the planet at this time, to see Mother Earth and the entire human collective shift from one age to another. Not happening overnight, but the process is already beginning. So if you can, and the best way to liken this shift from one age to another, the age of Aquarius. So let's say, for example, when it comes to the seasons, when we were moving from the winter to the spring season, it's not a sudden and abrupt, one day it's winter and then the next day it's spring. We get those early signs of spring. So, wow, the weather's nice today. We see a few buds on the trees. We start to see early signs of spring, even though the brisk air and the winter weather is kind of oscillating in and out. We start to have more and more spring days. So that's kind of what we're going to witness over the course of years, is this age of Aquarius more and more becoming apparent in how we deal with each other, how we're experiencing our reality. So the Piscean age, which was very much about these sort of cycles and everything that Pisces can embody, this sort of martyr, an energy of elusiveness and confusion even that can manifest with the Piscean age as we've gone through different changes in how we express religious and spiritual views. There's been a lot of confusion about that and not a consensus among humanity. There's just been this sort of division, and that came with people being confused as to what's truth, what's right, the right way to worship. And so with this shift and moving into the age of Aquarius, our own creations, our own innovations, our own perspective on life and reality is going to propel us even further, because we're moving into a sign of air, which has to do with thought, which has to do with communication, which has to do with learning. So there's something humanity is going to have to learn in order for us to take that leap forward. Something we don't know now that is required for us to move into the future. And that's always the case. There's something we didn't know in the past when it came to weaponry or when it came to technology, that once we got that information, once we got a hold of that technology, it catapulted us forward. Look at the internet. Look at everything you're able to learn now in a short amount of time for free using the World Wide Web. The convenience of it, the sheer innovation of the internet and emails and how we can do all of this digital stuff, it's mind-boggling. So think of how, and that's an Aquarian thing, the internet. So think about how that is going to play a part in moving us forward. With everything that humanity has created, there's usually a downside. That's just the polarity of the third dimensional realm. If it's daytime, it's going to be night. If it's sunny, it's going to rain. So if we have the internet, there's going to be the dark web, there's going to be bullying, there's going to be misinformation, there's going to be a negative side. So moving into this new age, we have to kind of anticipate what may manifest as a result of humanity stumbling into this sort of new era. What may manifest that's not so pleasant, that's not welcomed, and to some extent, trying to anticipate that and steer clear of it. Yeah, just something to think about. If you yourself can find ways to be actively a part of this shift by sharing your insight, maybe you're already on YouTube and you have a channel, maybe you make music and you're producing tracks that are conscious and very Aquarian, eccentric and new, and you're speaking on subjects that people want to hear about, maybe metaphysics, astrology. So some of you can already start implementing these new Aquarian themes into your business, into what you're doing. Think out of the box, do something completely different. If you've been avoiding social media, you've been avoiding the internet, like using it as a tool to level up, consider how can you, or how can I, or we maximize on the tools we have that reflect progress, that reflect our ability to communicate with each other, to reach each other, support each other. Our youth are coming up in a time where the jobs maybe that they once considered, or the society they thought they were entering, is not quite the same. So how can we support them, the youth? Moving into a new energy and a new year, and I just wanted to support many of you by saying, we got this, we can do this, step back if you need to. Once again, you knocked my lamp down, Nilo. So yeah, I'm gonna cut the video off here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm excited about this new season we are embarking on. Share your thoughts and experiences and what you anticipate in 2021 and beyond, and how you plan to share your gifts with the world. You are being called right now to reveal and start putting that out there to help people, to help yourself, whatever your gift is, your talent or ability. Don't mask it. So feel free to shoot me an email. I'm certainly available for sessions. Thank you to everyone who's booked a session. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. And until next time, peace.